Wheels and Heels on the Morning Wave.
So this is what we do every single Monday. We chat to Sam from the car scene. Sam, how are you?
Good, thanks. And yourself, Sam? Just got back from Cape Town.
Of course you did. What is new?
What is new?
All right, so Sam, I was doing some research over the weekend, right? And I found this really cool piece that I'd like to share with you on the basis of what we're talking about today. Okay. So it says that the majority of car buyers subscribe to the newer is better philosophy when it comes to deciding on a purchase, right? So it's an entirely reasonable approach to take. After all, cars, like everything else on the planet, have finite lives, right? By buying as new a car as possible, buyers hope to acquire a car without typical old car ailments, such as smoky engines and creaky joints, and hopefully with a minimum in repair and maintenance costs for the near future.
Yes.
So we're talking about new cars, but today you wanted to talk about high mileage cars.
Yes.
Which is totally different to what I've just shared now.
Totally different.
Yeah.
Is it
so I mean, let's talk about the mindset. You know, how can we change the mindset when it comes to high mileage cars?
So I think the first point when it comes to high mileage cars in the mindset is the price of new cars is becoming like completely unrealistic.
Shocking.
Like shockingly. To the point where you're paying R1 million for a 3 Series for a C Class. It's just like, come on guys, what are we doing? So the consumer typically starts to look at their used car options.
Yes.
And when you start to look at, let's call them demos, cars that are a year old, 6 months old, have less than 10,000 kilometers.
Low mileage, yeah?
Those cars are still relatively expensive.
Yeah.
And then when you start to look at alternate brands like your Kias, your Nissans, your Hyundais, you start to realize that when you compare like for like, segment and segment, like let's say a Hyundai Santa Fe, you could go and buy an Audi Q5 that's a couple of years older and has a little bit more mileage.
For the same price?
For the same price.
What?
Of course, yeah, because that's the way that cars depreciate.
Yes.
Okay. So the whole thing that I want to tackle today, is it actually safe to buy a high mileage car? And within that, there are a whole lot of parameters, okay? The average South African typically travels around 20,000 kilometers per year, okay?
Okay.
So after 4 years, I don't know, that's a whole lot of maths.
Maths.
What is it, 80,000 K, something like that?
Yeah.
I think it's something like that. A car like that would typically spend a lot of its time in traffic. So we're saying, okay, cool, that car, stop, go.
Yeah.
A lot of wear and tear on the components, on the clutch, on the drive lines. That car it's done a lot of wear and tear. Compared to a car that, let's say, is 4 years old and has 150,000 Ks. Now we're saying, that is a lot of mileage. But that car that has 150,000 Ks has done most of its driving on the motorway.
I see.
You see, on smoother roads, less interactions with the clutch, less demand on the engine.
Yeah.
So that car has spent a lot of its time in its final gear, going at a steady pace, and therefore has less wear and tear.
So this is what we need to be saying when we're buying a car is, where were you driving?
Exactly.
How often were you driving? So which brings me to the story that I found. It's called A Tale of Two Buyers, right? So let's consider the example. 2 cars with identical specifications were bought brand new on the same day, right? So you and Audie buy the same car on the same day. The one buyer works at a bank in the city and his daily commute consists of about 20 kilometers in stop and go traffic, right? We'll say Sam's working at the bank. Sorry, Audie.
Yeah.
And then, as a result of Sam's commute and one vacation trip every year, his car's odometer will read just shy of 40,000 kilometers when he trades it in after 4 years.
Yeah.
Now, Audie, on the other hand, is a sales rep. Oh, how do you feel about that? Audie's a sales rep who covers about 30,000 kilometers per year, most of which are on the freeway. So after 4 years, there's a solid 120,000 kilometers on the clock. So both cars are serviced according to schedule, and they're only being traded in because their maintenance plans are about to expire. Which one would make the better second-hand buy?
You see, in this instance, it's Audie's car. It's the high mileage car.
Yeah.
Okay.
The thing is, when it comes to looking at high mileage cars, okay, because now the listeners are like, okay, so you're saying it's okay to buy a high mileage car. There are, of course, a lot of things that you need to make sure of. Last week or the week before, we spoke about accident damage.
Yeah.
So you need to look at all the accident damage. Car needs to have a full service history. Car needs to have a full maintenance record. There was also another week where somebody phoned in and he said he sold his car on 99,000 kilometers.
Yes, sir.
And remember, I said, that is the car I want to buy.
Yes.
Because now you were scared to own it out of plan. There's nothing wrong with buying a high mileage car. When I look at high mileage cars, I also look at the condition of the interior. So for me, for instance, in that whole scenario where I'm the one who's doing a lot of town driving.
You're the banker.
I'm the banker. In that instance, you will find like a lot of wear and tear on the gear knob, for example.
Yeah.
Because I'm always stop go. I'm always changing first and second.
Yeah.
Udi's car, for example, wouldn't have a lot of wear and tear on the gear knob.
Even though it has high mileage.
Yeah. You've had less interactions with the vehicle.
Okay.
So you want to look at interior condition. Tells me a lot about a car. A lot. When I see a shiny steering wheel on a high mileage car, I typically move away. Because it just shows me that the car wasn't cleaned properly, it wasn't taken care of.
Yes.
If the leather
cigarette burns on the roof.
Cigarette burns, it's got a weird smell. If there's like the leather on the seats is really wrinkly.
It's a no.
Yeah, it's a no.
All right. Well, let us know via the WhatsApp line what your take is on the conversation and high mileage cars. 0848220938. We're still continuing the conversation. And of course, before the top of the hour, we play Just a Minute with Sam from the car scene. Right, it's 9:49 and we're hanging out with Sam every single Monday on Wheels and Heels. Maria came through with a nice message and says, good morning team, hope you all had a rocking weekend, with the emoji with the sunglasses. I love the Wheels and Heels slot because I learned so many incredible things, right? Meg says, my one race car that's 37 years old has 158,000 kilometers. My Bucky, on the other hand, is 16 years old and has a higher mileage of 505,000 kilometers. Now in theory you would choose the lower kilometer car, yet the one that gets abused daily is my Bucky and is still perfect and not smoking.
Nice.
Yes, that can all be down to proper maintenance.
Absolutely.
Of a car.
So Sam, I want to know, how does distance affect a car's value?
So obviously a car with a lower mileage will fetch a lot more money on the second-hand market. But with specific cars, we're starting to see where if the car has like less than 50,000 kilometers, we'll call, let's say, a 330D, which is the 6-cylinder diesel. It's super fast for a diesel car. That car is in high demand at the moment because it's very fuel efficient and it's very fast.
Yes.
So people want it. If you find like a 2013 330D with 50,000 Ks on the clock, you're going to be paying nearly 400,000 Rand. In some cases, even 450,000
That's wild.
Find that same car with like 110, 150,000
Go
Ks.
for it.
You'll pay like 250,000 Rand.
Wow.
So it's at the point now because, and I explained it at the beginning when I said new cars are so expensive now. And that means that the demand for used cars in good condition
is high.
Has gone up.
Yeah.
Because people can't afford the new car, so they're looking for the next best thing. The used car in the best condition.
And sales implications?
Obviously, if you buy a car with a higher mileage, most of its depreciation has already happened. So we'll stick on the 330D, for example, the BMW. If you buy that with 150,000 Ks for around 250, 280,000 Rand, and of course now you found a one that's in good condition, and this is also a very reliable car. Let's say you do another 50,000 Ks on that car. So now you sell it at 200,000 kilometers. It's only going to lose like 40, 50,000 Rand of its value. Whereas if you had to buy the one for 400,000 Rand on 50,000 Ks and now you drive it all the way to 120,000 Ks and then you sell it, you're going to actually lose more money.
Yeah, I understand that. So
because now you've bought, like, let's say a 2012 and it's only got 50,000 Ks. That is outrageously low mileage for a 2012. And it also goes back to what we said before about the wear and tear, stop and go traffic. Remember, cars also need to be driven. A car that isn't driven is actually going to give you more problems because all the fluids stay in the engine, it corrodes, it erodes, it cracks, it just causes more problems.
Jeez.
Yeah.
All right, so Kevin says, I took out a higher service plan and warranty as I was a sales rep, my brother. Now the contract states that 6 years, 900,000 kilometers, which I think is a typo. Will the company be liable for that written on black and white?
For the 6 year 90,000.
So if you
for
can
the 900,000.
If you can see the message on Udi's side there, you'll be able to see what Kevin is saying.
Oh yeah, no, it is a typo. I mean, if that's what they gave you, I think you can take it up with them, but good luck. They're not going to give you a 900,000 kilometer warranty. Either way, you probably wouldn't do 900,000 kilometers in 6 years. So the best you're going to get is for them to compromise and say like maybe 120,000 kilometers.
Yes, precisely.
But then it also depends what dealership, because if this is a 6 year, it might be a Mercedes.
Sam Lee Hawker on Mix 93.8.
We're hanging out with Sam from the car scene, and Sam, Jean-Claude came through with a number of voice notes, basically asking about the warranty, if you can extend it, is it up to the dealership, etc. And then another question about buying cars from rental companies. Yeah?
So the first question, Jean-Claude wanted to know, when you buy a pre-owned vehicle, do you have the option to extend the warranty, or is it up to the dealership?
Yes.
Now, a lot of used car dealerships are quite shady. They advertise a price on AutoTrader, but then they always tell you it is excluding a warranty. And you have to take the warranty, otherwise they won't do your license and reg. Most times I don't even deal with a company like that, because it's like, oh guys, flipping annoying. I know a couple. Then you have to pay 10,000 Rand for the warranty, and then they'll do your license and reg.
Okay.
But in most cases, you can go and extend the warranty yourself. But what the car needs to have is a full service history.
Of course, yeah.
If the car has a full service history with the OEM, so like let's say in Jean-Claude's case, he was asking about his Toyota Fortuner, that car needs to be serviced all the time by Toyota. Then you can extend it through Toyota. But if the car has been serviced by another RMI approved workshop, which is totally fine, doesn't matter, it's RMI approved, then you can't extend it with Toyota. Then you're going to have to look at options such as Innovation. There's a couple other warranty service providers. I would just suggest pop into Google, Toyota Fortuner warranties.
Okay.
And then you'll come up with a whole bunch of options that you can search for.
All right.
Jean-Claude's next question, is it safe to buy a car from a rental company? I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it.
Millions of people have been driving this car.
Yeah, no, don't do it. The thing with a lot of cars is that they adapt to driving behaviors. I mean, never mind the fact that people... Jean-Claude said it himself. There's a saying, rev it like a rental.
Yeah.
There's no faster car than a rental car. I wouldn't do it, personally.
So, Sam, it's time for Just a Minute.
Just a Minute with Sam Lehoko on the Morning Wave.
Right, so Sam, because of time, let's see if we can do this. So for 60 seconds, can you please tell us which high mileage cars are reliable? And your time starts now.
Which high mileage cars are the most reliable? My first point is anything from Japan. Subaru is like the one exception where things can get a little bit wonky, but 9 times out of 10, I will always recommend a high mileage Honda before something that is cheaper, like your Quids and your Datsun Goes. I always say, go and look for a high mileage Honda Jazz or a Honda Civic.
Okay.
High mileage, I'm talking like over 150,000 kilometers. Even the CRVs, those cars are bulletproof. If I don't mention Toyotas as being reliable, I'll probably have my head on a stake. So yes, Toyotas are a really good buy. When we're looking at the premium stuff in the German cases,
Okay.
320Ds,
Yes.
very reliable.
Insane.
Yeah, the 2-liter diesel, super reliable engine. The 3-liter diesel, also really, really reliable. And those cars use what's called a 8-speed ZF transmission.
Okay.
Doesn't give a lot of problems, that automatic. You want to kind of stay away from the pre-facelift 3 Series models.
Yes. Any
pre-facelift BMW, so 2016 and below. Kind of stay away. Be wary about it. Mercedes. All of the diesel engines are uber reliable. The 180 compressors, also very reliable, but particularly the diesels. Audi and VW, a little bit difficult to find the reliable ones. The 2-liter diesel's okay.
Yeah.
I don't really like recommending cars with dual clutch transmissions,
Okay.
because those tend to be problematic at higher mileage.
Yes, sir.
But the 1.4 turbo petrol is also quite reliable.
Beautiful. 60 seconds. Those are the cars that are reliable when it comes to high mileage. Sam, thank you so much for joining us. And how can people find you on the socials?
On Instagram, The Car Scene. I'm also on TikTok, so if you type in The Car, I will be your first result. And remember, if any of you have questions about buying a high mileage car, if you're looking at buying a car, reach out to me, hit me up in the DMs. I can also help you sell your pre-owned car for more.
Wonderful. Sam, thank you so much for your service today.
Thank you,
And we'll
guys.
catch you same time, same place next week.
Of course.
Wonderful.